once we got the lid cut off, okay, we can go ahead and take that off, set it to the side. All right, now we can get to the interior side. We're still gonna have these little gaps. We're gonna have that area where we didn't smooth this together. All right, so we need to come back with our popsicle stick, or I like using the broken tongue depressor, okay, because it's shorter and I can get in there. And now I'm gonna go ahead and smooth the bottom piece and the sides together, just like we did before with the other 4 sides, okay? So I'm gonna go around and smooth this in. Again, remember, we're really trying to drag clay from one piece into the other. That's what really mixes the 2 pieces of clay together. If you're not comfortable with it, if you think you need to go a second time and go back and forth a couple of times, do it, okay? There's nothing saying that you have to do it only once. You can do it multiple times. It's just gonna give you a stronger bond, okay? So on the inside, okay, you can see all those little tool marks in there. We'll come back with our comb, rough that up, just like we did on all 4 of the sides on the inside, okay? All of this stuff is just repeated over and over. It's a little bit redundant, but that's gonna ensure that we have a nice, good, solid bond, okay? Take a little water, make a little bit of slip in there, and then I still have my corners left over that I cut off. Go ahead and make my coils. And then again, we're using the coils to fill in those little tool marks, okay? We're using those coils to fill in that gap that we created when we smooth those pieces together. So if it's a little bit on the bigger side, not to worry. We're gonna scrape away a little bit of it when we use the tongue depressor, okay, that we broke in half, to fill that in, okay? So just press it in there. And if you need to add a little bit more, you can add a little bit more, okay? It doesn't mean that because your coil's a little bit small, you can only use that little bit, okay? There's no rules here as far as that goes, all right? Always make sure that you have plenty of clay in there to do what you need to do. Okay, so as you can see on the inside of mine, you can see where that coil went in. And now I'm gonna come back in with my tongue depressor and start smoothing that together. This is gonna do a couple of things again, just like before, all right? I'm going to have the clay smooth in and fill in those little gaps created by the original tool marks from smoothing those pieces together, okay? And what I just did right there is there was a little bit that kind of, when I was scraping, gathered up on my tool, all right? And so I just used that little bit to fill in one of the corners. I didn't have quite enough or a big enough coil to fill in this corner over here, all right? So I just took a little bit of that because it's the same wetness and it filled it right in, okay? Again, show you how I do that. All right, so I just took that little bit off of there. These tool marks are a little bit deeper. There's a little bit bigger gap there, so I'm just gonna use it to fill that in. And then I'm gonna go ahead and smooth that in. Again, just kind of trying to make sure that that's nice and smooth. We want the interior of the box to be nice and clean. Like I said, what's the first thing somebody does when they go, oh, it's a box, it's got a lid? They're gonna pick up the handle, pick off the lid, and they're gonna look inside. So we want to make sure that it's nice and smooth and clean all the way around, so that we got all of our corners, all of our edges on the inside are going to be nice and smooth and clean as well. Oops. Okay, again, a little bit there. You need just a little bit more pressed down in there. And a lot of that's going to get scraped away, but I want to make sure that I've got plenty in there. Corners tend to be the hardest part to smooth in nice and evenly. Okay, but once I get all those corners in there, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my fingertips. Those of you who have long fingernails, I do not envy you. I've always said in this class, good pair of nail clippers always helps. Okay, but now as you can see on the inside, all right, that's nice and clean. Okay, all 4 of those corners are nice and clean and smooth. All right, now I've got some little boogers and little chunks of clay that are coming off the edge here. This is where my lid is gonna fit back on. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of clean that up. You are gonna have a little bit of a line where the lid fits back on, but you wanna try and make that fit as nice and even as possible. I think it goes on, whoops, just like this. There we go. And dropping it like that is not good when the clay is still soft, so we're gonna try and even that out. Okay, so there my lid fits back on. Open it up and I've got a perfect box.